Hello class, so this is the lesson 4 discussion, and I'm going to be doing the prompts that are corresponded with my last name. So the first one I have here is imagine and describe a work situation where positive effect would be more efficient in accomplishing key tasks. Imagine and describe a work situation where negative effect would be more effective in accomplishing key tasks. So for positive effect, I feel like the manager or the owner should be able to tell their employees, hey, you're doing a good job. Keep doing what you're doing, because when you give them that reinforcement of them and telling them, hey, you are doing a good job and I'm really happy with what you're doing in my establishment, it's going to make them very happy, and it's going to continue them to be more positive in their work because they're making you happy, and then it eventually will make them happy because obviously it's their job. They want to do it correctly, and when you are letting them know that they are doing it correctly, then it's just making them feel way better about how they're doing as an employee of yours. But a negative effect, it could also go the same way, where you're giving someone way too much positive reinforcement and saying like, hey, you're doing a good job, but you don't really know what's going behind the scene. You don't really know if they're just cheating their way to do their work correctly. You don't really know. I've seen that happen many times, where someone is saying to an employee of them and saying, hey, like, you are doing a good job, yet they're doing the total opposite because they're kind of hiding what they're really doing behind the scenes. And it can really boost up that, okay, they're not going to find out what I'm doing, or even putting up this person's ego, because you don't know if their ego has been put up here and they're just like, oh, like, I'm the best. That makes sense. But that's what I think, how it can go both ways. It can definitely be both positive and negative at the same time, but I feel like it's more positive, but I can see how it can be negative, because when you give someone so much of that ego, then they're just going to be like, they are the best, they only know the best. Then the second prompt is assume that you are the manager of a team of employees and your team has experienced a lot of stress due to the demands of the job. Do you feel that changing your management style would be an optimal illusion, to help your team cope with the stress and ultimately perform better? And I do agree in that statement, where if I maybe try to change the management style to a style where it's easier for the employee to do their work and help relieve that stress, then I think they will ultimately perform better, because you're putting them first and you're putting their stress and trying to alleviate that, which is something that they're going to see that you're doing for them, and is going to hopefully in the future going on that it'll lower down their stress. And if you don't do any sort of change, nothing is going to change with what the stress level and just how people are working, because if you're not going to do that change for them for the better, then it's not going to get any better in the business or in the company. It just won't get better. And what I mean by that is that, for an example, in my job, my mom, she has a Clover system, and she put in effect on the system where you only need to press on the item and it gives you all of the, because we have different cheeses, we can cook the eggs a different style, like scramble, over easy, over medium, all that type of stuff. Just making sure that the client wants what they want exactly, and we don't have to necessarily look through every single list that we have on our menu. And it's just a lot easier for us, and that was definitely a good change for me, because it's easier to remember to put in the egg types and how they like their eggs, and then what cheese, and then we also put in some inventory as well, so we can figure out, okay, so we're low on this, so we need to bring this from the house. So that was definitely something really positive, because it helped the business out, but not only that, it helped me remember and put orders in correctly, because sometimes I can do it incorrectly, and it's not because I wanted to do it, it's because that it was a system that was kind of unorganized, and it's a lot more organized now. So that was definitely a good change. But yeah,